I was angry at my ancestors, I was angry at God. The inside info about our last born, his name is Monde Jr. They said he has, after the throat, there's a tube from the throat which joins to the stomach. So our son's tube was this short. So the food does not go straight to the tummy. So they said they're going to open his tummy here and insert a PEG tube. They call it a PEG tube. It's a small little tube. They insert it and then we're going to feed him through the tube. Then when he swallows his saliva, so they had to open here so that when the saliva must go somewhere because it couldn't go here. It was going to block his chest. And they did the operation. And I remember his first operation. It was a success, but we waited. It took 4 hours. So he went through a lot and my faith remained, but I had questions and God didn't answer. My sisters didn't answer.
There was a point where I was planning a funeral in my head.
Yeah.
And I was planning a funeral in my head and then planning, okay, if this happens, how am I going to comfort her? Because we're saying it's okay. It is what it is.
Yeah. 15th of October for him to do his major surgery. They said they'll do the major surgery whereby he'll start eating normal, blah, blah, blah. They'll put a tube and try to pull down everything and as a normal person.
He's 7 months now. And then after operation, development complications.
My son stayed in an operation room for 6 hours. After they performed the surgery, everything was fine after the surgery. And then he was big. He was
the voice and the man color because of the pains.
He was crying, but you couldn't hear his voice. That's when he stayed for the longest time in hospital.
So we've had a boy home
for 4 months in total. He's 1 year, 4 months. We've had him home for 4 months.
For 4 months.
Yeah, ever since. So he spent a year in hospital. Special. They had to discharge him after his operation in Bloemfontein, right? We went there. When we got there, I slept there for the night. But for 5:30 in the morning. I wake up, he's crying a bit. And as I was changing his nappy, I see blood all over the nappy. And when I looked at him, his mouth is blue. Panicked and called the sister. They came running. That was it. He went back to ICU. Wake him up, like resuscitate him.
We in a waiting room. And then
they said, please get out. Then you came. Then you found me crying there. Then I told you that my son is dead. We waited. And the doctor came. And the doctor, I remember he just got there and he sat down. And then he took off his spectacles and he said, and then I looked at him and he said, we are trying our best.
Yeah.
But he will be... You are sitting there, you're looking at doctors coming up and down, sisters. And he said, we are trying our best, but he will be okay. Then when they said we can come inside the ICU, you would see him, he's not up, but he's up.
To lose a child is to lose a piece of yourself that can never be replaced. When a child is lost, a parent loses their future, seeing only memories of what should have been. So this video of Gogo Skhotheni with her husband, they recorded this a year ago. It's there on their YouTube channel, explaining the condition that their child had and how tough their journey was. At the time, they said their child spent 1 year in the hospital and only 4 months at home. They did all that they could. But I just hope that Gogo Skhotheni will live by her words. When she shared this story a year ago, she was encouraging other people, other ladies or other families that were going through what she was going through to say, hey, you carried that child for 9 months. It's not your fault. And I hope she's going to carry the same words that she spoke to herself and not be too hard on herself. And remember these words that she said this day.
Best for the fact that you carried this child through until his last or her last days, you're the best. And to men as well, you're doing a good job.
It's going to be a very hard journey for her, but I hope she's not going to be too hard on herself and know that even if things like this happens, God still exists. It's not a fault for these kind of things to happen. They do happen, but it's something that we can never get used to. So on Tuesday morning, the 2nd of September of 2022, popular Sangoma podcaster and DJ Gogo Skhotheni took to social media to announce the heartbreaking news of her son's passing. Their family are grieving the loss of their 3-year-old boy, Monde Jr., Gogo Skhotheni did share the news and say that her son Monde Jr. departed this life at 1500 hours on Tuesday, September the 2nd at Busa Meds Private Hospital. Their families kindly request privacy as they navigate this deep and painful loss. She said, "We ask for your understanding and compassion in giving them the space they need during this difficult time of grieving." She has previously spoken up about her son's health struggles. She shared a heartbreaking message on his second birthday expressing the chronic nature of his healthy challenges. She said, "Monde Jr., you have been at the hospital bed ever since. You know all the nurses, doctors, and cleaners. We are now planning your second birthday. Are you still there?" She revealed that during her pregnancy, she faced complications and Monde Jr. was born prematurely after 7 months. He struggled to breathe and was rushed to ICU 2 hours post-birth. Monde Jr. was born without the tube that transports food to the stomach and had many surgeries and used a machine to eat. She went on to say, "God is testing the wrong woman." She expressed her enduring love for her son, saying, "God made a joke game. Amadlozi kept quiet. They saw me in pain daily, but they all did nothing. My faith is not shaken. Even by a snake, they know I would cross the ocean for them." Monde Jr. had spent almost 2 years in the ICU. Her relationship with the father of the child has also been a very tough one due to abuse allegations. "A lot has happened. My son has been sick for a long time, but I have given my life to God and I'll still heal." Speaking to Times Live at the time, she shared how she was feeling and the need to prepare for all outcomes. She said, "I hardly talk about my son, but now I am tired. All I can say is, this week I spoke to my heart and I need to prepare myself for the worst and all that will come. I am not wishing death upon my son, but preparations are better than nothing at all." In December last year, the DJ tattooed his son's face on her arm in his honor. The family has asked for privacy to mourn the loss of their beloved son. I just hope that these two parents, they will be able to honor their son despite what they are going through right now. But that's all that we have for today. Until the next time, peace.